Good afternoon, everyone. I am Usman K, Assistant Professor, BITM Ballari. First, I welcome you all to my ninth video lecture on Module 4. So, in the previous video lecture, we discussed about visible surface detection methods. So, we learned what is visible surface detection method and why we need visible surface detection methods and what are the various approaches are using in visible surface detection method. So we discussed visible surface detections algorithms are classified into two types. First one is called object based method. Second one is called image based approach. So in case of object based approach, we detected which part of the object is not visible to the viewer using object approach method. So in case of object approach method, we learned that we are detecting which part of the object is visible by comparing one surface with the another surface. That is in case of object method approach. But in case of image space approach, we determined which are the pixels that is visible to the viewer by comparing one pixel with the another pixel with respect to different surfaces. So we also learned when more than one object or more than one surfaces are overlapping with each other, then we need hidden surface removal algorithm. So as I highlighted summary of the previous class. So why we need hidden surface removal algorithm? As you can see that drawing polygonal faces on screen consumes CPU cycles. Means whenever you are processing some of the faces of the polygon which is not visible to the observer, then simply we are wasting CPU cycles. So we cannot see every surface in the scene. So we know that when we are capturing any image using camera, we cannot able to capture all the faces of the given object. Some of the objects are hidden. So we need to use visible surface detection algorithm and we need to detect which part of the object is not visible and we need to eliminate those faces. So these are the previous class what we exactly discussed. So as you can see this diagram here, this is the one of the image I displayed here. If I want to display this three-dimensional object on the screen of the monitor, whatever the three-dimensional object I displayed here, this is the wrong way of displaying three-dimensional object on the screen, because when you are viewing this object in the front view, fourth leg of the table is not visible. So as you can see that here, if you draw here, this leg, it cannot, it is, there is no any clarity. So what we need to do means, here you see that here part of this particular leg is eliminated, and if you display the object like this is the correct way of projecting three-dimensional object on the screen of the monitor. So our main aim or our goal in this types of algorithm is we need to determine which objects are visible to the eye. So once you determine which are the objects are visible to the eye, then we need to determine what colors to use to paint the pixels. Means whichever the objects are visible to our eye are whichever the colors are visible to our synthetic camera or for the observer, only those colors has to be displayed on the screen of the monitor. So in computer graphics we are using two types of visible surface detection algorithms. First type of algorithm is called backface detection algorithm. Second one is called Z buffer or depth buffer visible surface detection algorithms. So let us see one by one how we can use these types of algorithms to eliminate back face of the polygon and to display front face of the polygon on the screen of the monitor. So first type of algorithm is called backface detection algorithm. So this algorithm uses object space method to decide which are the faces are visible to the observer and which are the faces are back face of the polygon. So as we know very well in the previous video lecture, every solid object contains multiple surfaces, and there are few surfaces which are facing to the viewer. So whichever the faces of the object which is visible to the viewer, those surfaces are called front face of the polygon. And there are few surfaces which are opposite to the viewer. Which are opposite to the viewer means some of the faces of the objects are not visible to the viewer, and those faces are called back faces. Means how to decide front face and back face of the given object means it mainly depends on the position of the observer, and it mainly depends on position of our synthetic camera. So if you are assuming whatever the screen we are viewing, you can assume that we are the observer, and whatever the screen we displayed or whatever the slide we displayed on the screen of the monitor, that slide you can assume that it is an object. It is an object. So whatever the object we displayed, this object having front face as well as back face. I am discussing about 3D object. Whenever we have a 3D object, we have front face as well as back face. So we need to determine back face of the polygon using back face detection algorithm, and we need to eliminate those. So the purpose is here we want to save CPU processing time. So once you remove the back face of the polygon, then you are giving only front face of the polygon as input to the clipping window or clipping algorithms. So finally, clipping algorithms will clip the part of the object or part of the surfaces that lies outside the clipping volume, and it will display only those pixels that is visible, that viewer can able to view those pixels, and also those pixels has to be lie inside the clipping window. So such pixels are displayed on the screen of the monitor. So in case of backface detection algorithm, I'll come back to this slide later. I will directly go to next slide. So I am explaining how backface detection algorithm works. Assume that assume that there is a one three-dimensional pyramid is there. Assume that there is a one three-dimensional pyramid is there. This is called one object, and observer is viewing this pyramid in this direction. So this is called viewing direction. So when observer is viewing this object pyramid in this direction, I highlighted two types of surfaces. Please you see the mouse pointer. I highlighted for that particular object two types of surfaces. So if observer is standing here, if he is viewing this pyramid in this direction, so whatever the empty triangle I drawn with respect to pyramid, this surface is called front face of the polygon. Front face of the polygon, because observer can able to view this particular surface of the pyramid. If you see this triangle or this surface of the pyramid, it is not visible to the viewer. If we can say that this pyramid, this triangle or this surface is away from the observer. Hence, this is called back face of the polygon or back face of the object. So, we need to eliminate this back face of the particular object, and whichever the faces of the pyramid that is visible to the observer with respect to this particular position. Observer is standing here. If observer is standing here, this will become a front face and this will become a back face. For example, if observer is standing here, then front face and back face will differ. What I am telling means, based on the position of the observer, we need to decide which are the front face and which are the back face. Now, in case of back face detection algorithm, we need to determine which face of the polygon is back face and which face of the polygon is front face. So, to make this decision, we need to draw a normal vector n perpendicular to the any surface of the given object. So assume that this is one pyramid is there. This is our weaving vector, or I can say that weaving direction. Whatever the arrow I drawn, this is called weaving vector. Now this is one pyramid is there. For this pyramid, I want to check whether this surface is front plane or back plane, or front face or back face. To make this decision, I will draw one normal vector n perpendicular to this particular surface. After drawing one normal vector n perpendicular to this surface, then we will get one vector called n. Now the two vectors are ready. One vector is called weaving vector. So this is called weaving direction is called weaving vector, and we have a one normal vector, normal plane vector n. Now we need to take dot product of two vectors called n and v view. So if you take dot product of view and n, or if you take dot product of weaving vector and normal vector, if the result is greater than 0, it means that it is the back face of the polygon. It is the back face of the polygon. Now I am explaining how back face back face detection algorithm works. What we did here, if we want to check whether this plane is back plane or front plane, we drawn one normal vector perpendicular to this particular plane, and we have taken dot product of v and n. If dot product of v and n, if it is greater than 0, then it is a back face of the polygon. That is, I written when both the vectors are in the same direction. Same direction means weaving direction is also this right to left only, and this normal vector direction is also right to left only. When both are pointing to the same direction, both the vectors are pointing to the same direction, then result of the dot product will become greater than 0. When result becomes greater than 0, definitely it is a back face of the polygon. Then we need to remove this particular face of the polygon. If you take dot product of weaving vector and normal plane vector n, if the result is either less than or equal to 0, it means that that is a front face of the polygon. So you take this particular, please you see the mouse pointer, please you draw one normal vector perpendicular to this particular triangle or perpendicular to this particular surface. So I will draw, see the mouse pointer. So I will draw one normal vector n, see the mouse pointer with respect to this triangle. So if I draw, see the direction, please you see the direction. So I will start directly. I selected this particular pixel position. I will start drawing one normal vector. So if I draw normal vector like this, means I drawn one normal vector. The direction of the normal vector with respect to this triangle or with respect to this surface is left to right. So our weaving direction is right to left, right to left, but our normal vector direction is left to right. Means when the direction of both the vectors are opposite direction, it means that that face is visible to the observer. If this face is visible to the observer, then we need to conclude it is a front face of the polygon. So now by using back face detection algorithm, we determine whether it is a front face of the polygon or back face of the polygon. So as I written third point with respect to this slide, each surface has normal vector. Means whenever you want to check whether that surface is front face or back face. So for every surface, we need to draw the normal vector perpendicular to that particular surface. If this vector is pointing in the direction of the center of projection, means if this vector is pointing in the direction of the same direction where the observer is weaving, then observer is weaving here, you see that here normal, then you can say that it is a front face of the polygon. Means if you draw the normal vector from that particular triangle, it's moving from left to right, and we are weaving that opposite, we are weaving that particular object from right to left, means right to left. Means when both are opposite in direction, you can see that, you can say that it is a front plane of the object. So if it is pointing away from the center of projection, definitely it is a back face, and we cannot seen by the viewer, or observer cannot able to view that particular face of the polygon. So this test is very simple. Suppose the z-axis is pointing towards the viewer. If the z component of the normal vector is negative, then it is a back face. Means if z value is negative, you can say that it is a back face. If the z component of the vector is positive, then it is a front face. You see this example. For this particular sentence, I drawn this diagram. See that here. Assume that observer is standing here. If observer is standing here, observer is looking or weaving towards the negative z-axis. Observer is weaving this particular object in a negative z-axis. Right? Now, if the surface is at the positive z-axis, then you can tell that it is a front face of the polygon. If whichever the surfaces are there with respect to that object in a negative z-axis, then you can tell that it is a back face. Means here, you with respect to z-axis value only, you can tell that whether it is a front face or whether it is a back face. If it is a positive z-axis, it is a front face. If the surface belongs to the negative z-axis, then you can tell that it is a back face. Please you remember, we are weaving this object in this particular direction. So observer is standing here and he is weaving this object in this particular direction. Now we also know that every three-dimensional object or every polygon contains multiple surfaces. So if every object contains multiple surfaces, we should know that plane equation also. So plane equation is ax plus by plus cz plus d equal to 0. In this equation, if the coefficient of z is less than 0, less than or equal to 0, it means that it is a back face of the polygon, or that plane is belongs to the back face. If the coefficient of z, that is if the c value is greater than 0, it indicates that surface is front face of the observer. So by taking the coefficient of z only, you can decide whether it is a whether that surface is front face or back face. So this is about back face detection algorithm. So this is the very simplest algorithm to detect the back face of the given object. Now we will go to next type of algorithm that is very important, that is called Z buffer algorithm or depth buffer algorithm. So this is the second type of visible surface detection algorithm. It detect or it determines which are the faces of the particular object it is not visible to the observer. So whenever any part of the object is not visible to the observer or viewer, this algorithm will remove those hidden surfaces of the particular object, and whichever the surfaces of the object is visible to the observer, only those surfaces is projected on the screen of the monitor. So back face detection algorithm will use object space or object based approach, but depth buffer algorithm uses image based approach. So whenever we are telling that depth buffer algorithm will use image based approach, it means that we need to process pixel by pixel for the every surface to detect back face of the object. And whenever you are determining back face of the object, you need to remove those back face of the object, and you need to display only front face of the object on the screen of the monitor. So the working principle, let us see how depth buffer algorithm works and what are the components we are using in depth buffer algorithm, and how we are processing every pixel of the each surface. And when we are using visible surface detection algorithm, definitely one object is overlapped with another object. So when one object is overlapping with another object, then only hidden surface algorithms will comes into a picture. If only one object is there, then we don't want visible surface detection algorithm. When one object is present backside of the another object, then only we need visible surface detection algorithm. So now I would like to explain how Z buffer algorithm works, or what are the parameters we are considering. Consider observer is viewing in this direction. So observer is viewing towards the negative Z axis direction, and observer is standing here. So observer is called viewer. Now in front of the observer, assume that there are three surfaces are there. First surface is called small square. Second surface is called triangle. Third surface is called big square. Big square. So these are the three surfaces are there in front of the observer, and these three surfaces are overlapping with each other. Means overlapping with each other. It means that I given names also. I given names for each surfaces. Assume first surface name is called S1. This is square, small square. Second surface name is called S2. Third surface is called S3. Now, these are the names of the surfaces I given. And every surface is assigned various types of colors. So now I am assuming I filled red color to the first surface S1. Means that complete surface, as you see that here. This is the one surface is there. This is called S1. Please you see the mouse pointer. It is completely filled with red color. Second surface is called S2, and that S2 surface is filled with, assume that green color. Assume that green color. Surface 3 is filled with blue color. Means these three surfaces are overlapped with each other. So when observer is viewing these three surfaces, the question is which surface is visible to the observer and which part of the surfaces is hidden from the observer. Hidden means that is not visible to the surface, that is not visible to the observer or viewer. We need to determine those things. Now assume that I am or we are the viewer. We are the viewer. When we are viewing these three objects like S1, S2, S3, how we can view these three object means, now you can see that I displayed, we can able to view these three objects in this manner. Now surface, the part of the surface 2 is hidden from the surface 1, and also the part of the surface 3 is hidden from the surface 1. Means here with respect to these three surfaces, observer cannot able to see the part of the surface 3 and surface 2 with respect to surface 1 and with respect to here. Please you see that with respect to this pixel position, so I can say that only surface 1 is completely visible to the observer. So you can display that surface S1 completely on the screen of the monitor, and we are displaying completely red color. So I displayed as completely red color. But when I am displaying surface 2, I cannot able to display complete green color of the surface 2. The reason is the part of the surface 2 is hidden by the surface 1, because surface 1 is nearest to the observer, and we need to determine with respect to triangle, which are the pixels are hidden, and with respect to surface 2, some of the pixels are not visible to the observer. So we need to remove those pixel information. Similarly, with respect to surface 3, some of the pixels are not visible to the observer. So wherever triangle is drawn, with respect to complete triangle, whichever the pixels are there behind the triangle, with respect to surface 3, that is not visible to the observer. So we need to remove those pixels also. So based on this, our outcome is like this. So assume that I am a viewer. In front of me, assume that there are three surfaces are there, S1, S2, S3. So I can view three surfaces in a such a way that the part of the triangle is not visible and part of this big surface 3 is not visible to the observer. So like this we need to apply hidden surface removal algorithm called Z buffer, and we need to determine which are the pixels are hidden from the viewer or which are the pixels are back face of the polygon. After determining those pixels, we need to remove those particular pixels. Now, how Z buffer algorithm works means this depth buffer algorithm assigns the distance between view plane to that particular surfaces. Now we need to consider. Now we need to consider. Assume that surface 1 is located at the distance 0.1 from this particular view plane. Whatever the blue color square I drawn, this is called view plane. So from the view plane, there is a one small square S1 is placed and its depth is 0.1. So depth can be represented, depth or distance can be represented with respect to z-axis value. So try to remember, observer is viewing all these three objects with respect to z-axis. So now we need to specify the distance between the observer and those surfaces. But when we are using synthetic camera, we need to specify the distances between the projection plane to those surfaces. Now I am assuming the distance between view plane to first surface S1 is 0.1. So Z1 value is 0.1. Similarly, the distance between view plane to surface 2 is 0.2, and the distance between projection plane to third surface S3 is 0.3. Now, how this Z buffer algorithm works means Z buffer algorithm compares the distance between projection plane to all the surfaces with all the pixels. Whichever the surfaces of those pixels is closer to the view plane, only those pixel information is projected on the screen of the monitor. This is the aim of Z buffer algorithm. So let us consider observer is standing here. Observer is standing here. Now we need to take one particular pixel here. I have taken one particular pixel, that is called P of xy. P of xy. Now this P of xy pixel is shared to all the three surfaces, that is surface 1, surface 2 and surface 3. When this pixel is shared to all these surfaces, then here one question comes. For this particular pixel position P of xy, whether we need to display red color on the screen of the monitor, green color on the screen of the monitor, or blue color on the screen of the monitor, because the same pixel position is shared to three surfaces. Now how Z buffer algorithm works means, Z buffer algorithm will uses the depth value or distances value. Now whichever the pixel position is closer to the view plane, only those pixel color is projected on the screen of the monitor. It means that only that pixel color is visible to the observer. Now with respect to this example, here if you take P of xy, for the P of xy, red color is also there, green color is also there, blue color is also there. Red color with respect to surface 1, green color with respect to surface 2, blue color with respect to surface 3. Now you compare the distances. Whichever the distances whichever the surfaces distances with respect to that particular pixel having smaller distance between the view plane to that particular surface, you can say that that particular surface is closer to the observer. When that particular pixel, when that particular surface is closer to the observer, definitely the distance between projection plane to that particular surface is smaller. So the smaller the distance concludes that that particular polygon is visible to the observer or it is closer to the viewer. Only those pixel position, only those pixel color has to be projected on the screen. So if you take P of xy, here we have a red color, we have a green color, we have a blue color. So now what we did, so here exactly center of the square, small square. So if you take it exactly center of the small square, here please you see the mouse pointer, here we did not display blue color because the distance between the observer to surface 3 is 0.3. So you can say that 0.3 it is a far from the observer, or 0.3 distance it is a far from the observer, it is not closer to the observer. Now what we will do means we will not fill blue color here. Next we will check that what is the green color here. If I want to fill the green color, the distance between the observer to this green color, it is 0.2. But if you compare 0.2 with 0.1, you can say that 0.1 it is near to the observer. So whichever the pixels are near to the observer, those pixel colors has to be projected on the screen of the monitor. This is the working principle of Z buffer algorithm. So just I am summarizing whatever the concepts I explained in the previous diagram. S1 is the first polygon. It hides the part of the surface 2 and 3. As we know that S1 is, it is hidden the part of the object S2 and S3. Similarly, S2 is the second polygon. It is hidden part of the S3 polygon. S3 polygon. Now, same question. Which color we need to fill at the position P of x comma y? Now, I have taken here what is the concept we are using in Z buffer. We are using the concept called center of projection here. See the mouse pointer. Means we are moving in this direction. Now, we need to calculate what is the distance between center of projection to this particular surface with respect to that particular pixel, and we need to calculate what is the distance from the center of projection to this particular surface too. Now when we are viewing these two surfaces in this direction, when we are viewing these two surfaces in this direction, you can say that S1 surface has hidden part of the surface S2. Now how to identify whether it is hidden or not means, now you draw the projection line. When you draw the projection line from the center of projection to these surfaces, and here we need to determine point of intersection. So when you draw the projection line from center of projection to these surfaces, and the center of projection intersect one of the pixel of the particular surfaces, when it intersect, then we'll get the intersection point. So we need to determine what is the distance from the center of projection to this intersection point with respect to S1, and what is the distance from center of projection to this particular intersection point with respect to surface 2. Now we need to compare Z1 and Z2. So as per the previous example, distance Z1 is 0.1, distance Z2 is nothing but 0.2. 0.1 is less than 0.2, hence I can say that for this pixel, for this particular pixel, surface S1 is closer to the observer. If it is a closer to the observer, then For this particular pixel position P of xy, I need to fill red color. If you see this slide, you will get the clarity, right? Now here I am discussing which color I need to project or I need to paint for that particular pixel when the same pixel is shared to multiple objects, or when one object is overlapping with another object. Here the question comes, which color has to be painted for that particular pixel, because we need to display that pixel information on the screen of the monitor. So this is the working principle of our Z buffer algorithm. So I written clearly here, if distance of surface S1 is less than the distance of surface S2, it means that it is closer to the center of projection. Means S1 is Z1 or S1 is closer to the center of projection. Then we need to set red color to that particular pixel. If this condition is false, then we need to set green color like this. Now what is Z1 and Z2 means? It is a depth value. It is a depth value. It is a distance between center of projection to first point of intersection. That is nothing but Z1. Z2 is it is a distance between center of projection to second point of intersection. Second point of intersection. This is nothing but our depth value. Based on the depth value, this algorithm will decide which pixel is front face and which pixel belongs to the back face. Here, if the distance of surface S1, if it is less than the distance of the surface 2, it means that Z1 is closer to the center of projection. Then we need to display the color information of surface S1 on the screen of the monitor with respect to the surface S1. Now, generally, we are taking the depth value or Z value. It ranges from 0.0 to 1.0. So, what is this 0.0 means? 0.0 is the near plane distance. 1.0 is it is the far plane distance. We heard that what is near plane and far plane. So, if I tell 0.0, it means that this is a minimum value. This is a minimum value, or it is a minimum distance from the view plane to that particular object. If I say 1.0, this is the Z depth value. This is depth value from the view plane to that particular surfaces. Generally, when we will take view plane, the distance between the view plane is the object should lies between 0.0 to 1.0. Generally, if the object is lies between 0.0 to 1.0, then you can say that that object is present inside the viewing volume. We already learned this concept. If the object is either before the 0.0, the distance between the view plane to object or whatever the object is specified, if the distance is less than 0 or greater than 1, means it is out of range. Means your depth value or z-axis value ranges from 0.0 to 1.0 only. So whatever I written here, see this slide. Here I written 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. So these all are called depth value. The depth value or z value has to be range from 0.0 to 1.0 in case of Z buffer algorithm. Now let us see how actually Z buffer algorithm works. Whenever we want to apply Z buffer algorithm, when we are viewing multiple objects, then we need to determine which are the pixels belongs to the front face of the object and which are the pixels belongs to back face of the particular objects. Now assume that we are processing more than one object, or assume that in front of the observer more than one objects are overlapping with each other. Then this algorithm compares each surface pixel position or depth value to previously processed surface pixel position depth value. Means it will compare previous surfaces pixel depth value as well as the current surface pixel depth value. So after comparing, if currently processing surface pixel position depth value, if it is closer to the previous surface pixel position depth value to the observer, closer means distances should be less here, distance should be less here, then it updates or it saves the current surface pixel position depth value and current color in the corresponding depth buffer and frame buffer. So what I am telling here, in case of Z buffer algorithm, we are using two types of buffers. First buffer is called frame buffer. Frame buffer stores the color information of every front face of the polygons which is visible to the observer. Depth buffer will store what is the distance between the observer to that particular object, or what is the distance between the projection plane to that particular surfaces. So this algorithm will use two types of buffers. I am repeating. First one is called frame buffer. Second one is called depth buffer. So whenever you are processing each polygon, or this algorithm will process only one polygon at a time or only one surface at a time. Assume that already you processed one surface. After processing one surface, you stored two information in the two buffers. Assume that you stored first surface depth value in a depth buffer and first surface color information value in a frame buffer. Assume that first square. I'll go back to this slide. Assume that first square. So this is the first square. Assume that we processed, after processing two types of information, we stored in two types of buffers. We stored depth of the first square. This is the first surface 1 information. Depth is nothing but 0.1 in depth buffer. And we also stored the red color information in the frame buffer for this particular surfaces, for this particular surface 1. Now assume that after processing surface S1, assume that Z buffer is processing surface 2 called triangle. When Z buffer is processing surface 2 called triangle, it compares each pixel of the surface 2 with already processed surface 1 pixels. After comparing, if the distance between surface 2 to the projection plane, if it is less than the distance between surface S1 to the view plane, then Z buffer algorithm will update two tables simultaneously. So it will update depth buffer. It stores the smallest depth of the green color, or that is surface 2 in the depth buffer, and it will store the green color for that particular pixel in the frame buffer. When the distance is smaller, when that particular surface is closer to the viewer, like this, like this, like this Z buffer algorithm will process, all the surfaces pixel by pixels, by using scanline algorithm. So internally this Z buffer algorithm will calls scanline algorithm. It process from bottom to top, left to right, polygon by polygon, scanline by scanline. After processing, this algorithm will generate two final buffers. Those two final buffers are called depth buffer and frame buffer. And what is the content of the depth buffer and frame buffer means, the finally frame buffer contains the corresponding color value for those surfaces. What I am telling is, finally frame buffer contains the color information of the front surfaces of the object. Whichever the object that is closer or visible to the observer, those surfaces color information is stored in the frame buffer at the end. Similarly, depth buffer contains the smaller distance, or the smallest distance between the observer and the surfaces which is visible to the observer, or in other words, depth buffer contains whichever the object or whichever the surfaces are visible, those visible surfaces pixel distances are stored in the depth buffer. This is the final outcome of the two buffers. Then what OpenGL program, or what computer graphics processor will do means, computer graphics processor will read the content of depth buffer, and it will read the content of the frame buffer, and finally it will display the whichever the object that is visible to the viewer. So finally, please you see that finally display processor will project, it will display this image information on the screen of the monitor. So how processor has displayed this information means, by processor will go through the content of the frame buffer and content of the depth buffer. After reading the content, final pixel information is displayed on the screen of the monitor. So if I take here p of xy, here processor will display red color. If I take here, if I take here, processor will display green color here. It will not display blue color, because green color is closer to the observer. That distances are stored in the depth buffer. By taking that corresponding depth buffer depth information for that particular pixel, and that particular color has to be displayed on the screen of the monitor. So this is about how exactly Z buffer algorithm will work. Now I summarized, or I listed whatever the concepts previously I explained with respect to Z buffer algorithm. So whenever we are using Z buffer algorithm to detect visible surfaces or to detect hidden surfaces, we need to follow 4 steps. So when we are using Z buffer algorithm, initially each pixel of the depth buffer is set to the maximum depth value. So we know that maximum depth value is nothing but 1.0. So see that here. Please you see the mouse pointer. So initially, for every pixel of the depth buffer, I am setting 1.0. So this is the maximum depth value between the projection plane to far clipping plane or back clipping plane. And we need to set the initial frame buffer value to the background color. Assume that I am taking background color is called white color. So I am storing initially white color in the frame buffer and maximum depth value in the depth buffer. These are in step 1. I will repeat. In the step 1, for every pixel in the depth buffer, I am storing depth value is 1.0 for every pixel in the depth buffer. And for every pixel in the frame buffer, I am setting background color information. Background color information. This is the first step. So once you initialize depth value for every pixel in the depth buffer and background color value to every pixel in the frame buffer, our two buffers are ready by storing initial values. Next, start processing polygon by polygon. So this depth buffer will select first surface. Means I return this Z buffer algorithm select the surfaces are rendered one at a time. So it will select the first surfaces to process. So as per this diagram, our first surface is called small square. First surface is called small square. So with respect to this algorithm, with respect to step 2, our algorithm has selected first surface for processing. When processor want to process first surface, then this Z buffer algorithm will compare depth value of every pixel for the surface S1 to the previous depth buffer value. This is a default depth buffer value. Now after comparing, no, I will tell that is later. I will tell that is later. So we selected first surface for the processing. We selected first surface for the processing. Now we'll go to third step. Third step. In the third step, what we will do means we will do the comparison. When we are processing surface 1, assume that we selected surface 1 for the processing. In the step 3, we started processing. We means processor has started processing. When processor want to process surface 1, processor will compare depth value of every pixel of the first surface with the initial depth value of the depth buffer. With respect to our example, the depth value of first surface is 0.1. Now, processor will compare every pixel surface 1 depth value 0.1 with the initial or default depth value of every pixel 1.0. So after comparing 0.1 with 1.0, then what processor will do means wherever first surface S1 information will come, for those pixels processor will set depth value is 0.1. This depth value is 0.1. Now depth buffer is updated. This depth buffer contains 1.0 depth value where surface S1 pixel information is not available. Wherever surface S1 information is available, for that particular pixel, processor will set the value 0.1. So 0.1 is compared with 1.0. 0.1 is less than 1.0. So 0.1 pixel is closer to the observer. Then processor will replace 0.1 to 1.0 wherever surface S1 pixel information is available. Next. In the step 3, processor will update frame buffer value also. So initially frame buffer value is we initialized background color. Now what processor will do means, when processor is processing surface S1, wherever 0.1 value is assigned to the depth buffer, what processor will do means, wherever zero point 0.1 is there in the depth buffer, for those pixel position in the frame buffer, processor will assign red color only for those pixels. Now what I am telling means, frame buffer contains background color for those pixels, and those pixels are not belongs to the surface S1, and whichever the pixels are belongs to the surface S1, for those pixels processor has assigned the red color information. Means now frame buffer contains for few pixels background color and few pixels red color. So wherever surface S1 information is there, for those pixels red color is assigned, and wherever surface S1 information is not available in the frame buffer, there still background color is assigned. Now we completed step 3. Now the outcome of the step 3, you see that when you are processing surface S1, surface S1 Z value has to be updated to those pixels in the depth buffer. I have written clearly. And whatever the surface S1 color is there, that color is assigned in the frame buffer wherever the pixel information is there with respect to surface S1. Now, after completion of step 3, we need to repeat step 2 and 3. I written wrong here. We need to repeat step 2 and 3 for the remaining surfaces. I will repeat. This is step 4. In the step 4, what we need to do means, we need to repeat step 2 and 3. I written wrong here. We need to repeat step 2 and 3, means we need to select next surface. Again we need to perform the step 3. Like this we need to execute step 2 and step 3 for all the surfaces which is present in front of the observer. So after processing all the surfaces, processor has classified into two types of surfaces. Processor has stored the front face of the surfaces information in the depth buffer as well as in the frame buffer, and whichever the pixels are, or whichever the surfaces are not visible to the observer, those pixel information is not stored either in the depth buffer and not stored either in the frame buffer. Now I would like to conclude here. After all these surfaces have been processed, each pixel of the frame buffer represent the color of visible surfaces at the pixel. Means what I am telling means, after processing all the surfaces, whichever the pixels are visible to the viewer with respect to those surfaces, only those visible surfaces depth value is stored in the depth buffer and color value is stored in the frame buffer. Finally, processor will read the depth value from the depth buffer and color information value from the frame buffer, and finally it will project the images like this. So this is the outcome of the jet buffer algorithm. So this is the input and this is the output. So like this we are applying Z buffer algorithm. I want to repeat once again. Z buffer algorithm will use scanline also. Just you go through scanline video lecture. You will get what is scanline, how processor will use scanline algorithm to fill the color inside the visible surfaces. So this is the two types of algorithms. Today we discussed how we can use visible surface detection algorithm to detect the visible surfaces. So once you detect the visible surfaces, only those visible surfaces pixel information has to be painted for those pixels which is visible to the observer. So this is the two types of algorithm today we discussed. So now I would like to conclude today's video lecture. Today we discussed two types of algorithm, that is called visible surface detection algorithm. First type of algorithm is called backface detection algorithm. In case of backface detection algorithm, if you want to detect which surface is back face of the object and which face is front face of the object, first you need to set the weaving direction. So once you set the weaving direction, you will get weaving vector. From that weaving vector, you select any surface of the object, and from the selected surface of the object, you draw one normal vector perpendicular to the selected plane. When you draw the normal vector perpendicular to the selected plane or selected surfaces, you calculate cross product. You calculate cross product. If you calculated cross product of weaving vector and normal vector, if the result is greater than 0, then you can say that it is a back face of the polygon, and you need to remove those pixels. No need to display those pixels information on the screen of the monitor. If you want to decide it is a front face of the polygon, then you select those particular polygon or those particular surface, draw a normal plane or normal vector perpendicular to that plane. When that normal vector is multiplied with the weaving vector, if the result is less than or equal to 0, you can conclude it is a front face of the polygon. Front face of the polygon. If it is a front face of the polygon, display only those pixel information on the screen of the monitor. So this is about backface detection algorithm. Then how Z buffer algorithm works means, the Z buffer algorithm will use the Z axis values, that our weaving direction is nothing but z-axis value. So in case of in case of depth buffer algorithm, we need to calculate what is the distance between the view plane and those surfaces. Whichever the surfaces is near to the observer or near to the projection plane, definitely those surfaces, those pixels depth value, definitely it will become smaller or less than the other surfaces which is far from the projection plane. So whichever the surfaces are visible to the viewer, those pixel information has to be stored in the two types of buffers. One is called depth buffer, one more is called frame buffer. Finally, processor will read this content either from the depth buffer and frame buffer. Finally, it will display only those color information which is visible to the observer, or whichever the polygon, whichever the surfaces that is visible to the observer, those surfaces information is displayed on the screen of the monitor. Thank you.